Great. Okay. Now I'm not quite sure. Hang on a minute. Okay, so hello everybody. I am so excited that you're here. I am just not quite sure why am I as everything around me is so dark, because I've got loads of lights here. So let me just figure that out. But in the meantime, can you just let me know that you can actually hear me and see me okay? And I may need to just do a little adjustment to the light. Just to give me 1 second. Perhaps we should hardwire this in as well. So the screen is not very good. All right, this is a bit better, I think. Okay, so I will get started answering all of those questions. Just one little thing that I need to do here. But in the meantime, could you let me know in the chat box, if you're able to, whether you can actually hear me okay, and whether it's working. It looks like it's working from my end, but I'm never quite sure. So I'm never quite sure what you're saying or hearing. So yeah, please let me know if possible. So what I'm going to do first and foremost is I'm going to tell you a little bit about the retreat itself and my vision for it, and what so that will give you an idea on what to expect. And then I've got some questions here I will send by email, so I'm going to answer those. And if then you have any other questions, then I obviously will answer those as well. Right, so can anybody actually just type in the chat box, if you're able to say that this is working, please? So okay, so in the meantime, I'm just gonna get started. So first of all, this retreat is not your generic regular retreat. It's very, very far from your generic retreat, actually, because first of all, it's obviously designed for people with autoimmunity, and so that in itself makes it completely different from your generic yoga retreats that you see all over the internet. And also, of course, the location is really rather unique as well. So the reason why I obviously chose to do it in Poland is because I love that part of the country. It's a really beautiful part of the country. People are not really familiar with Poland so much, so it's an opportunity to experience a different culture and see something different, as well as do some healing and learn more about how you can address autoimmunity. So as for so I'm going to actually just go through some questions. I made some notes to myself here. So there were obviously questions about diet and how we're going to do the food. So all food will be definitely gluten-free. That's one thing that is going to happen across the board. And on top of that, I will be talking to people beforehand. So we're going to be doing those pre-retreat consultations so that I have a very clear idea. You're going to fill in some questionnaires for me as well. So I have a very good idea on what your requirements are. So we make sure that everybody's dietary requirements are met. And the food will actually be organized in the sort of buffet sort of style. So it's going to have you're going to have a selection of foods at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then on the last night, we are going to do a sit-down dinner together as a group, a four-course meal, also obviously including all the dietary requirements from everybody. So that's the food. I had a question about any because obviously 3 meals per day are included, so your breakfast, lunch, and dinner is included. Whether there will be an opportunity to get any snacks in between meals. And basically, the answer is yes. This is obviously, if you choose to do it, then that can be organized, because we pretty much have an exclusive use of the venue. So the chef will be basically there catering for us. And if you choose to have something in between meals, that can be arranged for you. So that's fine. That's not a problem. So as for the accommodation, of course, there are different accommodation options. If you're sharing with a friend, that is by far the most cost-effective way you can come and attend, because then obviously you're sharing a room. If you're sharing a room with a friend, then we can give you a twin room, and the rooms are quite spacious, so you're not going to be crammed into a small space. That's, they are all quite spacious, and some are bigger than others, but they're all quite spacious. And so obviously that's the best option for you. You can, of course, stay on your own. So there is, obviously, we do have single occupancy option. And at the moment, up till the 5th of March, we've got this early bird offer, which is a really, really good deal for the standard of the venue and the standard of the whole event. It really is a very good deal. So if you are interested, keep that date in mind, because after that date, the price will increase. So in terms of what other options do you have? If you, for example, if you wanted to bring a partner who doesn't want to participate in the retreat, then you can do that. You just need to email me directly, and I will send you information about your partner supplement. I didn't put that on the website, but that is available. I already have somebody booking who's doing that. So that's fine. If you want to come with somebody who doesn't necessarily want to participate in the retreat and just want to stay with you in the room, and we obviously going to feed them, that's going to be included in their supplement. And then they can join us for outings or excursions as well. That's fine. And then, of course, they will have access to the wellness zone, which is unlimited to anybody who's staying with us anyway. And so I'm going to carry on answering questions. So the weather at that time of the year, that is early October, in Poland, it's not going to be very hot. In fact, the average temperature for that time of the year in that part of the country is about 15 degrees Celsius. So it could be a little bit warmer, because obviously the climate is getting more and more moderate everywhere. And so, for instance, this winter has been very mild, so it may also be warmer, but we're looking at hopefully during the day, between 15 and 20 degrees. So that's the weather. And somebody asked me a question about whether there is a possibility of maybe getting a massage or something like that. So again, the answer is yes, because the hotel does have a therapy sort of area where they do massages, they do body treatments. So that's, if you choose to have that, it's not a big cost. It's going to be additional cost, but it's not a huge cost. It's actually quite affordable, and you're welcome to obviously book that when you arrive, if you choose to. So following on from here, just to clarify, the length of the retreat is 7 days. That's 6 nights accommodations. But of course, we have people. We actually starting the event on the 6th of October, and we're going to be checking out on the 12th of October. Okay, So there was a question that somebody posed, what's the best time to actually arrive and leave? So I would say this: if you're traveling from a long way away, perhaps Canada or the United States, then I would really, if this was me, I would say I would arrive probably a day earlier, and I would want to just recover a little bit, relax a little bit before the retreat starts. If you choose to do that, all you need to do is contact me, and I will know to book you an additional night accommodation. We're gonna do this at a obviously there's gonna be extra cost, but it's we're gonna get a really good deal for you for any extra nights. A really good deal, actually. We've already got that arrangement with the venue. So if you need that, contact me, because I personally feel that, you know, if I was to go to a retreat and I was traveling a long way, then I would want to be nice and fresh for the duration of the event. And I like to obviously participate as much as possible and engage as much as possible. So if you traveling from a long way away, which some people will be, then I do recommend that perhaps you come a day earlier. And so yeah, contact me if that's something that you're considering. If you, on the other hand, if you are traveling from a European country, then from most European countries it will be a 2-3 hour flight to Wrocław, and then the transfer, which is included, we are picking you up from the airport. That transfer will be an hour and a half, so you're not traveling a very long way. And if you're traveling from the UK, maybe, or somewhere like that, that literally you're traveling, you know, 2 hours flight and then 1.5 hour transfer, then you can afford to come on the 6th, and then, you know, just take it from there. This first day of the retreat, we're going to be doing the bioresonance scanning for everybody. We're going to be doing some housekeeping. Obviously, we're going to be welcoming people. There will be obviously food available already on that day. And so if what was I going to say? So yes, obviously we need time to do all those things, and so we're going to do it on the first day, on the 6th of October, because some people will still be arriving on that day. And so with regards to the bioresonance screening, the bioresonance device that I have is quite advanced. There are many bioresonance devices on the market. They're not all equal, but the one that I have is excellent at detecting microorganisms. So if you do have infections, that will be picked up, and if you have chronic symptoms, you probably have infections. So that will be picked up, so you will know what you're dealing with. But there are so many layers of screening within that scan that you will get a lot more information. Of course, you will get information about toxicity coming from heavy metals, toxicity coming from food, toxicity coming from environmental factors. You will also, we will look at your mineral content of your tissue. So you will get a lot of information, and also you actually will get information about energetic burden as well. So you will actually know how much EMS are affecting you. So there's loads and loads of information we're going to get from that scan. I will then discuss this scan with everybody, so you know how to interpret your report and what you then need to do following that, obviously, because it will give you some direction. That's what I want. I want to give people direction, particularly if you still have some missing links in your healing, some missing pieces, you're not quite sure where to go next. That's going to be absolutely excellent for you. On the other hand, if you maybe just been diagnosed and you're starting from scratch, that's excellent. It's an excellent place to start. It really is. And so I hope that answers the bioresonance question. The database of microorganisms is extensive, is massive. So like I said, if you have infections, that will be detected. And then we can discuss some possible ways forward for you. Of course, I'm not going to just leave you hanging. The whole point is that then during the workshops, we'll be looking at the different factors that we need to address when we're dealing with autoimmunity. And obviously infections is one of them, and we will be looking at different ways with which we can treat infections, of course. And particularly, you know, we will be looking at the infections that you specifically dealing with, and then we can look at what you can do with that. And so I hope that answers that question. What else have I? Oh yes, somebody asked me about the water quality at the castle and whether the water is basically ruined by adding chloride or fluoride or something like that. And the answer is no. The castle is located in the area of Poland that is actually very well known for its thermal activity. So there are a lot of thermal springs that are sort of highly mineralized. This is natural mineral springs. And the water to the property, to the castle, is actually coming from those natural springs. So there's no chlorine, there's no fluoride, there's no nonsense like that. That water is actually of superior quality. So that's the water question. All the rooms, by the way, of course, have their own bathrooms. So regardless of what room you have, whether it's a suite, sort of a larger room, which I said that if for the first few people who book, we will upgrade them to not just a room, but a suite, which will also have a nice relaxation area. So they're really, really beautiful. And of course, every single room has its own bathroom. Those bathrooms are equipped with some toiletries, but somebody asked if there are hair dryers. The answer is yes. So you do not need to bring that. You don't need to bring that. That's all. That's all there already. What else? Language. Language, please do not worry about having to speak Polish. You definitely don't need to speak Polish. So first and foremost, you need to understand that actually a lot of people speak English anyway. In that part of the country, a lot of people speak English and speak German and speak other languages as well, because they do have a lot of tourist activity. They're used to dealing with people from other countries. And the staff at the castle, they do speak English, so again, no problems there. When you arrive in the country, when it comes to customs or anything like that, there won't be an issue. I've never seen this before. There will be people who speak the language, if that even is required. But you will probably just get through customs without any issues whatsoever. Just showing your passport and off you go. When you get to the waiting area, when you come out, and we ask you to just wait for us because we will be picking you up. So from that point on, you don't need to worry about the language. You don't need to worry about anything, because we will pick you up. We will also drop you off. You get back home. You get your flight back home, and hopefully, obviously, you get back safely. So we're taking care of that, and that's all included in the price. Let me just quickly refer to my notes. I think that's more or less the questions that I've had here. If I haven't covered something and you have a question, please type it in into the chat box. And so hopefully you can see that when you see this video. You should have a chat box on the right hand side. So if you want to ask any questions, anything that I haven't covered, and you're interested and you want to know or clarify for yourself, maybe a specific situation that pertains to you, and you want to clarify that, then do let me know in the box and I will answer that. Somebody else actually asked me about the age group, and I say what I always say, that age is just a number. So if you are well enough to travel, well enough to participate, and you are basically keen to explore perhaps a new country, because not many people have been to Poland, new culture, and just discover something, learn something new, discover something new, and experience something new, and you are well enough to do that, then I am not having any age restriction here. Of course, you need to be at least 18, but to be fair, people with chronic illness don't tend to be very young, so we don't really get very young people here anyway in our community. Sort of 20-something-year-olds to maybe 60, 70-year-olds. This is what I would expect, because of course somebody could be older and still perfectly okay to participate, in which case they are absolutely welcome to come. So that's the age question. Let's just see whether I've got anything else. Mobility. Generally speaking, obviously, this is an authentic 15th century castle that has been renovated and restored. So this is not just sort of sham castle, some building that looks like a castle. This building has a lot of history, which may be actually of interest to some people. And of course, I will be providing that in the welcoming pack, because it does have a lot of history. And of course, when you renovate old buildings, there's only that there are some restrictions in terms of what you can do with them. But there is a little elevator in the castle, and the area where we're going to be doing our yoga and meditation classes, and that is accessible only by a flight of stairs, so the lift doesn't go there. But there is a little lift to take you from ground zero to sort of higher up. So that is there as well. And as for the classes, I'm gonna actually just tell you what I have in mind. This is not going to be anything hardcore. The classes will take place every morning before breakfast. People to move before they start eating, if possible. And we're going to basically work on energizing the body, but this is going to be absolutely accessible for people, even if you're not into yoga, you're not into Pilates, you're not into Tai Chi. I'm going to keep it simple but effective, and I will make sure that even if you haven't done this before, you can participate, and I'll make sure that you're able to do this. So don't sort of get scared that maybe the exercise classes are too, they could be too much. So I'll my very, very best to keep the right balance. I used to teach in the fitness industry for many, many years. So I do have quite a lot of experience in teaching exercise classes. So we'll be okay. And I'm sure I can cater to all abilities. So so that's the classes. Excursions. Okay. So like I said, the area where the castle is located is actually really, really nice. There's nice countryside. We are on the edge of a national park, which is lovely. But also that very area is actually called the Valley of Castles and Palaces. Of course, not all of them are hotels, but there are other historic buildings in the vicinity. So as part of the retreat, I want you guys to experience, like I said, a little bit of culture and history of that area. So I will be showing you around those places as well. So we've got that planned. So it's not just going to be full-on learning and workshops all the time. We make sure that we have some downtime. We have some reflection time. Obviously, there will be meditation every day before dinner. And then we have some time in the afternoon when we can do a little bit of exploring. I'm not going to push anybody to do anything that they don't want to do. This is obviously no, but it will be there for you to take those options if you want to. And the workshops, of course, will be, so maybe I should actually just run through the order of the day again. So we're going to have class in the morning before breakfast. We're going to have breakfast as a buffet style breakfast. So everybody can have as little or as much as they want, and whatever they want. There's going to be selection of foods so that we can keep people happy that way. I think that's really the easiest way for everybody to be satisfied. Then we're going to do a 2-hour workshop. That's going to be around sort of 11 to 1, that sort of time. And then, of course, we're going to have lunch. And then after lunch, you can choose to go to the relaxation zone. There is a sauna, there is a steam room, there is an outside hot tub, there is a little exercise room. So you can use that. You can book a massage, or you can come for a walk with us, weather permitting. So there are options there, and I will be available to just talk to you, and you can ask me questions about your specific situation and all of that. We're going to have time for that. And then before dinner, we're going to have a meditation class. Then we're going to have a nice buffet style dinner. We're going to actually sit down, and we're going to have a nice 4-course sit down meal on the last night. So the last supper, right? And so that's it. And then of course in the evening, again, you can choose to do whatever you like. Again, that wellness zone, that of the spa is obviously, you can use it whenever you want. It's unlimited use. So that's sort of the order of the day. As for the workshops, of course, we're going to do this bioresonance scanning, and I want people to get a really good idea of where they're at. I want to have a very good idea of where they're at with their health. And then we're going to, the workshops really will be structured so that we cover the main areas of that need to be addressed in order to heal autoimmunity, and we're going to cover different approaches that can help you achieve that, including things like flower remedies, obviously nutrition, obviously emotional work. We're going to do all that. I'll give you some tools. You're going to get away with some good tools. So then when you get home, you can basically carry on with the work that you started. So that's the idea. Are there any questions? I hope that I am answering most of your questions. But if you have any other ones, just type them in the box, in the chat box, which should be on your right-hand side when you're looking at the screen. And yeah, just type away. And I'm happy to answer whatever questions you want me to answer, anything that you need me to clarify. But yeah, I'll give that a few minutes. If you have any other questions that maybe you're not too techy and you're not sure how to type it into the chat box or whatever, or your computer is not allowing you to do it, if you have any questions, please just email me. Reply to the email I sent you earlier today to do this webinar, and you can just reply to that. And ask me any questions you want, and I will get back to you. I'm allocating a little bit of time this evening to deal with different queries and bookings and things like that. And of course, the venue is not huge, so the spaces are limited. It's not a massive hotel with loads and loads of rooms. And besides which, I obviously do not want big numbers. I don't want huge numbers because I want to be able to give people some individualized attention. And I cannot do that when I have loads and loads of people. So I will be keeping my numbers down. But at the same time, we obviously need to have a minimum number with which we can run this retreat, because obviously we're hiring the venue pretty much exclusively, so that is quite an extensive cost already, quite substantial. And so, yeah, so obviously we need those minimum numbers, but after that, actually, there isn't a lot of room for maneuver, and I will be keeping the numbers down. I'm looking definitely not more than 25. I am actually personally thinking probably 20. I mean, if you know, if it comes to it, then perhaps I will allow a few more, but I will definitely not have more than 25 people. Ideally 20 people. That would be really my ideal number. if you are interested, again, the early offer is a good deal. So if you are interested and you really want to do it, then put the deposit down now, because that just makes sense financially for you. And if you do book and you put that deposit down, please do not go off and book your flight straight away. Wait for the confirmation, wait for the email that I'm going to send you, because we need to confirm that we have those minimum numbers met and that the retreat is going ahead. So which is hopefully going to be very, very soon. And then yeah, then you can go ahead and book your flights, particularly if you're obviously traveling from the United States or Canada. Then obviously I do understand that you need to book your flights sooner rather than later. But the saving that you are making by booking the early bird is almost covering the cost of your flight, really, if you were to pay before the 5th of March. So it doesn't make sense if you are interested and if this is something you're looking at doing. And so if you have any other questions, again, just type them in or email me with them. If there are no more questions, then I will sign off. Hopefully you were able to hear me and see me, and hopefully if you were here with questions, then I answered them. But if I haven't answered them, then it's not a problem at all. Just email me and I answer them via email. Or if you actually want to talk to me, whether this is right for you or not, just set up a call. We can set up a call and we can just briefly talk about it, because sometimes maybe some things are not that easy to describe in an email. Maybe you just want to just talk. That's fine. We can do that too. But of course, you need to email me in order for me to find a slot in my diary for us to be able to do that. But feel free. That's not a problem. I'm here, and I am absolutely want to make sure that this is right for you. Okay, so if you're not sure that is right for you, let's talk about it. Because the one thing that I want more than anything is for this to be an amazing experience for everybody who participates. And I am determined that it's going to be fabulous and absolutely amazing. But of course, it has to be the right thing for you to do. So I do want to make sure of that. So yeah, if you need to make sure of that, then do send me an email and we will talk about it together. So if there's no more questions, I will sign off now. I thank you so much for being here and listening, and hopefully you can see the benefit in attending this retreat, and you hopefully think that this would be something that would benefit you. And yeah, if that's the case, then I would be very, very excited to have you join us. It'd be amazing. So with all that said, I will say bye now, and yeah, keep in contact if you need to. Okay, so take care for now.